Hey guys, today's video is going to be all about how to shoot in harsh light, and it's going to be my top tips for doing so. I know this can be quite intimidating for most people to do, but I hope you enjoy this video and find the tips helpful. Let's get started. Tip number 1, keep the lighting even. As you can see in this first photograph taken of Tia, the lighting is really uneven and there's a lot of harsh shadows that are unflattering. So it's always best to try and make the lighting as even as possible. And in these clips, I'm showing you how to angle the model's body towards the sun more, or particularly their face. That's more important a lot of the time because that's where the shadows will fall. And as long as you don't have anything too harsh as far as shadows, very small and slight shadows can be retouched out. And you can even create some interesting effects with the lighting. Tip number 2, use a reflector. Using a reflector is a great way to light darker parts of the image without using any portable lighting, and it's a really nice way to retain that natural effect. I usually find a reflector works best on backlit images during harsher lighting, and it really helps filling in the darker side with light. Tip number 3, create your own shade. Sometimes on a shoot when you're looking for a more shaded area and there's not many shaded areas around, I like to use and improvise different objects to help shade the model. In these video clips you can see we're using the reflector just to hold on top of her head and to actually create shade over her face, so we're able to get more of an even lighting in the portrait shots. Tip number 4, underexpose your images and shoot in RAW. When I'm shooting in harsh lighting, I usually prefer to underexpose my images slightly. This just helps bring out detail, especially when you're shooting in RAW. That will always bring out more detail in your images. But also if you're underexposing a little bit, you'll generally be able to bring out a little bit more detail in the shadows than you will in the highlights. And this is because a lot of the highlights in harsh lighting tend to blow out quite easily. Tip number 5, count the model in. When you're shooting around the middle of the day, it can get very bright, and this can affect the way that the models are able to open their eyes and actually use normal facial expressions. Sometimes I like to count them in just by saying to open their eyes on 1, 2, 3 and then close them again, just so it's not hurting their eyes and their facial expressions aren't strained. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it and I hope you found the tips helpful. If you'd like to put your favourite tips for shooting in harsh light down below in the comments section, that'd be great, as I'm sure many people are very interested to find out other tips on how to shoot in harsh light. It's not always the easiest thing to do, but a lot of the time it's something that most photographers will have to come across at least at some point, having to shoot through the middle of the day. It's not fun, but sometimes it just needs to be done that way. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!